So I'm just coming in here at the beginning. Isn't it common that I have to do this? Sometimes it's because I've maybe been vague. Sometimes it's because I made a mistake. This time it's because I'm continuously getting more and more information. And so during this video, I talk about not naming names on YouTube and all of this sort of thing. I'm questioning some of that now. My point about that is that some people are kind of naive and they get involved in these things, and we don't want their names out there, and we don't want them being attacked because they may not know what's going on. But with a lot of the information I've been receiving, this for a lot of people, this is a continuous and consistent slander and libel campaign, and there's plenty of evidence of that. So for some people involved, this is not just a few things happened and it flared up and whatever. This is very consistent, persistent, and it approaches I would say, if you were to look at what kind of legal proceedings to take, I would say this is harassment in the form of slander, because it's committed over and over and over and over and over again. And unfortunately, also, I'm not just talking about Eileen. I saw something about a member of the band, some absolute slander there. Really incredible stuff. So I may change my tune on that. So my point is, I'm not locking myself into a box. If someone has been on a campaign of hatred in the form of slander and lies about Eileen, that's a problem, right? That's not just a one-off thing where someone made a mistake, don't blame us, right? But anyway, I continue to receive all kinds of information about what has transpired and may or may not be handled in the future. The fact is, right now, as I state in this, I want these attacks stopping. Thanks for watching the video. Here we go. I hope this doesn't take long, because I only made one coffee and I finished it while pulling up some of the stuff. So anyway, there have been some responses. Now, some responses people have seen and they've mentioned that they've seen them to me, but other responses people haven't seen. But generally, the themes of responses that I've received with regards to specifically attacks on Eileen and did the Rollers play? There's a doubling down on the Rollers didn't play, so we'll get to that in a second. With regards to Eileen, there seems to be a mixed response. One is, this never happened. You're a liar. The other is, yeah, it happened, but your friends are worse anyway. So this is a mix coming from various places. The easy thing, let's tackle the easy thing first, right? The first thing, so Derek responded, and you can read, and I highly recommend. Now, I never mentioned Derek. I said founder, because I do not like to put names out there, because I don't want attacks on people. Why don't I want attacks on people? Because I want this done. If people attack them, and then they're going to attack back, and then Eileen's going to be attacked again, right? Stop it. Like I said, I never wanted to do that video. And I also don't want to name people, because I want this put to an end. I'm not here to shame and abuse and attack people. I did have to say what the organization is. Otherwise, people would have no idea what the heck I'm talking about. But going on YouTube and mentioning people's names is, to me, not appropriate, even in this circumstance. And I know people that are angry will probably disagree with me on that. But that's kind of my feeling. But anyway, Derek Moody came on, and he commented. Now, let's see here. I highly recommend that people read it. And the reason I say that is that I don't want to misrepresent Derek. And this is what I get accused of all the time, is misrepresenting something, right? Because I'll have one word out of line, and they'll be like, oh, well, you liar, right? So go read it yourselves. But generally says I got my facts wrong. He created the Universal Group, and then he gave that away 2 years ago. It's run by completely different people. He's not a member of that or any other BCR group. So he wipes his hands essentially, in my opinion, of anything that happens in that group. Okay. OCD issues can be worked on. Maybe spouting. So this is just stuff about who cares about getting kicked out of groups. People think I'm upset because I got kicked out of a group. Perhaps, is that what he's saying? See, once again, I'm trying to read into what he's trying to say here. You better start triple checking, okay? So essentially, I haven't checked things. Just because you talk to someone doesn't mean they tell the truth. That's always true. And we'll get to that about what I actually saw. Because maybe I wasn't clear, and I'm going to have to be more clear. This is all projections based on opinions on your belief system. If you're saying there weren't session players on the early records, you're definitely going against all other accounts I've read and talked to BCR members about. So yes, this one's easy to handle. So let's go back to the comment in question. Derek Moody. This is, what's the date on this? 4th of July, 2023. Not trying to be mean, but after reading every book, talking to ex-BCR members and stories from producers of their stuff, I was shocked to learn that Nobby and Les were on those records vocally, but the boys weren't able to record as quickly as and professionally as studio players. It saved the labels money to record this way. From what I heard, they only played on It's a Game and Onward. If you listen to the live BCR album Roller World, you can hear they sound nothing like the albums. But for the record, I loved how they sounded live. I saw them in 1977 after Pat departed at the Springfield, Illinois State Fair. Okay, so we're all allowed to have opinions. But it says here, from what I heard, they only played on It's a Game. Okay, I've also heard that, right? Unfortunately, it's untrue because I've also read accounts with engineers and producers that were in the studio with them. I've also read Les's book where he says that Clive Davis got rid of replacing the band, starting with Once Upon a Star, because it was ruining the band's reputation. Okay? There was certainly augmentation on Once Upon a Star. Any of the piano on there, I do not believe that the Rollers are playing at all. Simply because Eric has stated he wished he could play piano better than he does. Like, he can play piano, but he'd like to play better. And that was some really good piano work on there, right? But the point is, this stuff is so well documented. Why people continue to go on with these rumors that have nothing to do with the documented evidence is beyond me. Now, one person that does this is a former band member, and I understand why that happens, right? And the people associated with him also. I had one person comment that he and Woody had to go back into the studio to fix Eric's parts on It's a Game. Okay, let's be somewhat honest here. I've got nothing against Woody's musicianship, right? As a matter of fact, I did a whole show on how great his bass playing was when he switched to bass. But have people seen Eric play? And have they seen Woody play? Why would Woody have to go in and replace? It's ludicrous. So all of this stuff is ludicrous. And like it says here, from what I heard, what we hear, and Derek makes a good point, what we hear from other people isn't necessarily the truth. So let's move on to that next thing. Well, we'll get to that. So let's go through the rest of this. He mentions someone here that I'm not going to mention because I don't think he deserves to be dragged into all this crap, okay? And when you read it, I would also say, don't drag that person into all this crap. And then he mentions someone who is a friend of his, and I would say, don't bring them into all this crap. Now, here's some truth. The people now running the Universal Group never called them scam events. It's true. It was Derek Moody that called them scam events. And at the time, the admins were agreeing with everything he said, okay? But I do not have any evidence that they said you're absolutely correct on this one, okay? I do have evidence that they've said you're absolutely correct on the Bay City Rollers didn't play until It's a Game, right? Anyway, there's some stuff here about the folks doing dirty deeds to others aren't the ones I'm pointing the fingers at. And it's a shame that I fall for lies. I admitted so. This video is just perpetuating way more gossip and rumors. Now, I have heard this, that there are some awful people out there and that I'm associated with them. And I've asked for the evidence of this stuff. And everyone has said that they've never provided any of the evidence. And it comes from lots of people, So it makes me think, these people must be super powerful that I'm hanging around with, but I don't know. Long live the Bay City Rollers music, the rest obsessive behavior. If you only knew the backstabbing going on. So he's not involved in any of this, but he knows apparently. Believe what you will, but tell facts, not one-sided falsehoods. Not a subscriber. I don't care. I'm not going to reply. I don't care what haters reply. I won't, but better things to do. No one called Eric a liar. Well, I think saying he didn't play on anything until it's a game when he has stated that he did, I think that is calling him a liar. But that's just a different semantics. Who cares? He has great respect for the man, loves his old and current work, and he is a fan. And he never said that the BCR couldn't play. Now, if I said that he said the BCR couldn't play, then that's on me, because he never did say that. That's absolutely true. I know that they can and they could. Have you read all the books and accounts from the producers, session players, and members of the other band, and members of the band and others? I have. Their history is factually documented. Yes, I have read them. I read Les's book. I read Alan's book. I read Hans' book, where he has interviews with engineers and producers. We actually had on the radio show the person that did the roller coaster show on TV, and he described how they couldn't get the tapes in time and so they re-recorded the entire dedication album, the portions that they were putting on the show, in the studio. Okay? So yeah, someone please post these things that are not innuendo and are not from ex-band members trying to attack the band. Anyway, here I am going on about that again. So that's all fine, but then it comes to this thing about rumors and innuendo, and I wanted to clarify something about my first video. There was a portion in the video where I said, I heard rumblings, and people had contacted me saying that people were saying that Alan passed away when he did because Eileen forced him to go to Mexico, right? So that was rumblings I was hearing, and I was trying, as soon as I heard that, to get to the bottom of where this could come from, right? Because this is pretty serious stuff. But what did I actually see? This is where people are saying, you're just believing what people see. What did I see? I saw a post that said, essentially, Alan would still be with us if it weren't for one selfish person. So, who is that selfish person being referred to? If we're not referring to Eileen. And so, I went on to this post because I was like, this sounds exactly like what I've heard. And I saw that Eileen's family was defending her. And I saw the responses to Eileen's family attacking. And I said, listen, I'm trying to decipher if this is about Eileen. Now, I would think it's not about Eileen. But when I see the responses, it sounds like this is about Eileen. And I said also, if someone was saying something like this about my mother, I would also be very upset. Well, boy, did I get attacked. Right? And a full day was given for anyone to explain who is being discussed here. Okay? I'm not naming names here. If people want to come on here and reveal who they are, that's fine. I don't think attacking people makes sense. But the person was an invited guest to speak at the event that posted this, okay? The admins that I referenced earlier were in support of the post and attacked me. One calling me a loser, and one calling me, and I don't care, but because it was funny, a phony, okay? Do you people not remember this? Do you not realize it was a public post? And I have talked to dozens of people who saw this entire thing unfold, and it was very obvious to everyone. So if you want to pretend like I'm just making things up and I don't have evidence of it and none of this stuff happened, simply state No, the person that we're claiming killed Alan is someone else. But you have to say who you're talking about, right? So that's that. Now, outside of all of that, I know there's backstabbing going on all over the place. I know everyone dislikes each other. And that's why I said in my video, like, that stuff's never going to stop, right? But what I was saying was some things go beyond the line. Now, for some people, it's just they get so excited and they go beyond the line and it's a mistake and they regret it, right? I am not saying that these people started the original rumor. The original rumor is kind of like, this would be like a narcissistic sociopath, in my opinion. But that's just my opinion. But sometimes people just get overly excited. And that's another reason why I'm like, I'm not naming you. I don't want people attacking you. I want these kinds of attacks to end. Because I've been seeing this. I'll bring up one other thing. One of the admins on Alan's memorial. I have to bring this up. Eileen made an anniversary post on Alan's official page of the 5th anniversary of his passing. And one of the admins said it was an insult to Alan's nearest and dearest and that she needed a good slap. Okay, so this has been going on for a long time. So anyone saying, why are people trying to deny when they've been so obvious about their hatred, right? Attacking the widow on Alan's official page. Sorry, listening back to this, the comment from one of the admins was not on the official page. It was but it was posted, and it was posted elsewhere as far as I recall. There was one other thing, and that was, like, for example, there's a post where Alan's first wife from one of the admins is referred to as his wife. Is that semantics? I don't know. There's this other thing. Now, I don't want to bring up people's names, so I'm going to have to edit this out. A massive shout out to a certain person on his big day, paying his respects to Alan Longmuir on his 50th anniversary of the Bay City Rollers. We are spending it with Alan's first and only wife. So this kind of stuff is coming up over and over and over again. I saw the post with my own eyes. I interacted with the people in the post. I asked if this is about Eileen. I was attacked. And the post was up for everyone to see for a long time. A lot of people were kicked out of very exclusive groups because of their interaction with this post. Okay? I had to remove people from my group. I did not do a post saying who these people were because, like I say, a lot of people are just victims. They get suckered into something. They see stardom and they believe whatever anyone says, or they just are sympathetic and they put a heart on there and they're like, oh, that's so sad or whatever, not knowing what is being said. Right? And those people, unfortunately are suffering. The people that are innocent are suffering because now they can't participate in some of the groups that they loved. Right? And I think that's a shame. Anyone who's innocent and didn't understand what was going on. But anyway, yeah, so this whole thing about did the Rollers play, did they not play? Like I said, they're stating it's from It's a Game On. It's BS. There's plenty of evidence. And also, what did I see? I received phone calls saying these rumors are starting about Eileen. And as a matter of fact, they've been posted in the past and they're coming up again. What did I see with my own eyes? The post that said someone was responsible because they were selfish for his death. I asked if they were referring to Eileen and I was attacked, as was anyone else that asked the same questions. Okay? So that's what we have. I request anyone in my group not to name anyone involved, especially if they could be someone that was innocent, right? We want all this crap to end. It's been a distraction for a very long time. Anyway, I hope that paints a somewhat accurate picture. By the way, also, one of the admins said to me, hey, you can't blame us for what people say coming from our event. And that was about the thing about essentially what they were saying. And I'm not going to quote them because then people will look for it and may attack them. But essentially what they were saying was that Eileen was not a wife of Alan's, right? And I will agree on that. Like, anyone could go to an event and post a bunch of crap, right? And it makes that event look bad. This certainly made that event look bad. But who knows where that came from, right? I'm not going to say that the admins told them to say that, right? It sounds stupid. So there you go. That's what we have. And like I say, some people hear lies and then they perpetuate them. Some people are victims to lies because they don't understand what's being said. And some people create the lies, and those are the people that I think are truly guilty, right? So that's why keep people's names out of this, but let's put an end to it. Thank you for watching. That's my defense against the wonderful words that have, but no one has any fear of mentioning my name. Maybe a topic for another day. By the way, there was actually a Bay City roller that did post a really nasty thing about me. And I wanted to explain something about that because now that all this has come up, I can explain. I had just finished making for that person a video telling people to stop calling him a liar, okay, at his request. Because people were taking my post out of context, right? And I posted that on YouTube, and I went to Facebook, and I somewhat have to apologize to him for that. But I went to Facebook, and the first thing I saw was that a person was using his page, right, like his newsfeed page, right, to attack Eileen and to say that she's been profiting off of a song that he wrote for Alan for decades, as if she's getting rich off of this, which people were freaking out. And so I changed my focus immediately to deal with that, right? And then about a week later or whatever, nasty things were said about me on that page. So all this stuff around Eileen, there's that person, there is stuff that happened before I got involved in anything. I know that because there was a campaign, I Stand With Eileen. I don't know what that was all about. And then there's this. And it's simply because I was given the heads up because people had received word that this was going on. So that explains a lot of stuff that might have been in the background that people didn't know about. Anyway, I've got a lot of editing to do on this because I had to read and stuff. Anyway, have a good day. Thanks.